That Don't Sound Right is a podcast about talking the way we did before the internet.
When you could not prove anyone right or wrong, all the expertise was contained in the people involved in the conversation.
We hope you enjoy our conversations. And as you listen, if you find yourself silently saying, that don't sound right, send us a comment. You're one of us. You wouldn't do this for any reason. I think we need to point out, because you have now.
Welcome back to another episode of That Don't Sound Right, a podcast about talking. We're your co-hosts. I'm Peter Millen.
And I'm Cecil Davis.
And we're just trying to have a conversation without Google or fact-checking. Those things can so easily kill the conversation.
So I don't know that I've killed the conversation this week. Usually we try to have an example of that. I have managed to kill our soundboard, I think. So have you killed the conversation this week?
No, I haven't killed it, but I'm just about ready to kill AI.
Really? Why?
So I was using ChatGPT the other day, and I was trying to get it to look at our website.
Okay.
And look at all the episodes.
That Don't Sound Right website?
Yeah. So we have a website. It's www.thatdon'tsoundright.com. If you don't know that, that's where we have all of our episodes. We have links to all of our episodes, and some of our show notes are there, so you can see what we talked about. And I usually try to put a picture, an illustration or a picture that represents the website. And I have fun looking for pictures or coming up with pictures for each episode. But what I try to do is I try to keep a running tally of all of our episodes.
Right.
And I was hoping AI, but it's been a while since I've done it. I mean, we're up to 179 episodes now or so,
yeah,
right?
That's a lot, yeah.
So it's been a while since I've done it, and I was hoping AI could go in there and look at the website and just read all the descriptions,
right? See
the titles of all the episodes, and then give me a list. And for some reason, it could not do it.
We're too smart for AI.
It would do about half of them, and then it would just get lost in the website because it's so vast.
The archive is so vast, it can't do it. So I think we need to confess that normally our episodes flow pretty well. Usually we do things in one take with some editing, but we have really floundered tonight with episodes. Between coughing and trying to nail down the ideas, I think we came the closest to actually Googling a fact during an episode as we've ever come tonight.
Because we really wanted to know. We really wanted to know. So we texted, we texted about half a dozen people.
We did.
Because that was our February pact.
Right.
The February pact of 2025 is to not Google it the first thing you do. Ask somebody first.
Oh, and speaking of that, our listener out in Alabama, Chris, said that he uses the same glue that you use.
Oh, the Type Bond 3.
Type Bond 3.
All right. I will say it's working fine.
So that's a rocket scientist saying that. So that's
yeah, he probably keeps things that it costs a lot more than a railing together with that glue.
So tonight you want to talk about something very specific.
Yeah, we talked about it. We kind of touched on it on an episode a while back. And we have a friend who's an orthodontist.
Yes, we do.
And you've had braces.
I have not had braces.
You have not had braces.
I've never had braces.
I've had them twice.
Really?
I've had them twice. Everyone in my family's had them. My mom's had them. She had them when she was an adult. And we were talking about braces. And we talk about orthodontics for pets.
For dogs?
For dogs.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And this is what don't sound right to me. That you would spend that kind of money to straighten out the teeth of a dog.
My first question, the first thing that doesn't sound right to me about canine orthodontia is, why would you need to straighten a dog's teeth?
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, is there any harm in a dog having crooked teeth?
Well, I guess there could be if the dog can't functionally chew with the teeth alignment that they have. That could be a thing.
If it's a medical reason like that, I could see that.
Could be a medical reason.
Do you think?
Going back to, some of these raptors that are at these raptor sanctuaries. You know why they're there? No. They have a deformed beak.
Oh, really? Can't eat.
and they can't eat, and they don't want to let that animal back out in the wild to propagate that gene.
Okay.
So then you get a bunch of raptors, already endangered birds, that can't eat because they have fouled up beaks.
Well, I can see if a dog couldn't eat, maybe you
So maybe you would do it for that. Because I'm also with you, is that, well, how do you know the dog's teeth are crooked? Can we call in your dog here?
Yeah, we can call him in, have her in, and have her come.
Hazel.
So there's two reasons for orthodontia, right? Functional,
yeah,
and aesthetic.
Cosmetic. Right.
So is one of the reasons you would do it cosmetic for a dog?
I can only think maybe.
It was a show dog, maybe.
But I have never seen a show dog get extra points for growling at somebody and showing their teeth. My in-laws, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they have a golden doodle, and there's a response some dogs have is they show their teeth, but it's being friendly.
Peter is showing his teeth, right?
Yes, right. But it's a show of. It's not a show of anger or fierceness. It's a show of, I guess for them, it's a way of showing kindness.
So you straighten your teeth for that reason?
Well, if you want, I mean, if the dog is always showing their teeth and they're all,
you wouldn't do this for any reason. I think we need to point out because you have now.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this for any reason.
You've got one kid waiting to go to college when she graduates from high school,
right?
And you will have officially made it through your children's lives without buying a dog.
Yeah, that's right.
So you would never do. You would never.
I can see the.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
Now,
there's very few of you in the world that have held out.
There's a question is, will I get a dog after the kids leave? And there will be a family revolt if I do. So,
well, you've said that you will buy all your kids a dog as they leave.
And if they ever listen to this episode, if they ever listen to the podcast,
any episode,
they can hear this now, that deal is still on. In fact, it really isn't if they want the dog, I will buy them a dog. Oh, for all the hassle they gave me, they're getting a dog.
You stood strong because most of us cave. I'm on my third dog.
Oh, no.
In married life. I got a dog when we didn't have kids.
Okay.
I've had 2 dogs while I've had kids.
Yeah.
And so I cannot say anything. I completely caved on this. Now, my brother has also made it this whole far. And he has had withering criticism, much as you have had, for not purchasing a dog.
Yeah. I mean, you could also look at it as that you just have more bandwidth than I do. You just do. You just have more bandwidth, and I just don't have the bandwidth for another family member.
I call my dog Margin. Right, because it takes all the margin out of my life. But we digress. So if you have a dog, and they're now dog orthodontics, I have a lot of questions. One, why would you ever put braces on a dog? And
so there must be, it must be functional.
Might be functional.
It's a family member. I get the whole family member thing. Family member, now your family member can't eat. And the reason they can't eat is they need their teeth straightened. 2,
how do you put braces on a dog? I would think you'd have to put them aside.
I think very carefully.
Yeah. I can't think a dog would just sit there patiently while you put braces on.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you have to put that.
And then how do you? Braces hurt, right? You've had braces.
But that's right. But I wonder if they, dogs can endure all kinds of pain that we perceive that pain. I bet you that doesn't hurt.
You don't think it does?
I don't think it hurts.
I bet it hurts because you're moving teeth around.
I don't think it hurts them.
It doesn't hurt us.
I mean, you've seen dogs pick up they'll bite on a rag, and you can lift the rag up, and they will hang by their jaw from the air.
Yeah, maybe not. But that's what I'm saying. You're putting something on a dog that could potentially hurt them, and you don't have any way of determining whether they're in pain and then controlling the pain. And do they put like rubber bands on them like you do with people to pull the teeth around?
I would think so.
I bet you
can do it pretty quickly. I bet you can straighten out the teeth pretty quick since they don't experience pain in their jaw and then around their teeth. Then you can just crank on them. I mean, you can put the stiffest wire and you get them to move quick.
I'm calling the Billman effect on this because you just said that dogs don't feel pain in this process.
Well, this is the hypothesis that dogs don't feel pain, and if that's the case, then we can do this quickly.
When you're fishing, do you think fish don't feel pain when you rip them out of the water and throw them in the well?
No, I don't think they feel anything.
Well, when you shoot a deer, they feel pain when you put a 30-06 slug through them.
Now, that's a good question.
I mean, being rhetorical, but now that we've broached it, yeah, I think that you're putting the dog in a lot of pain.
You think the dog feels pain?
Oh yeah, just like you would in your mouth. Because if a dog bites into something, like gets hold of a, I take that back. I've seen dogs chew pine cones before.
They crunch through some pretty hard stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I think the limit.
So you're winning me over with the.
I think the limit to what they can chew is just the strength of their jaw. I'm
not sold on the no pain thing, and I really can't imagine how bad their teeth would have to be. I mean, they have to be where they couldn't eat. I guess maybe as a result of an accident.
Could be an accident, or maybe just a deformation, or just a defect.
Or maybe you got in a fight with another dog.
Yeah.
And then how much does it cost?
Oh, it's got to cost about the same as a human, because the part's a part, right? So you're paying for the parts, you're paying for the expertise of the vet, and you got to pay for anesthesia. You put the dog down at least twice.
But I remember, like, when my girls had braces, they had to like make molds of their mouth and all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming you'd have to do the same thing with a dog.
I would think so, because you want the teeth to mesh.
Yeah,
and that's why you're molding them. You're seeing which teeth have to move where, so you can get this mesh.
I would love to see this process.
Wow, yes, I never thought about the molding process.
You have to do the molds. Do they wear retainers after that?
I bet you they don't. I bet you those dogs chew them up. I bet you they're not very compliant.
And then you have to pay for this, which I do know that this is a thing now. Long before. No, this next thing about the pay source, you can now get insurance for your pets.
Yes.
Health insurance.
Yes, that's right.
Like I know someone who is in this business, someone who's very smart, has worked for big companies.
And they're selling
now
pet insurance?
No, they work on the data side of it.
Okay.
But it is for a pet insurance company.
I don't doubt it. Can you imagine the actuaries involved? And I mean, you got to look at every single breed and decide, okay, what are the chances of this dog having this problem?
Yeah.
I bet you your rate is based on the breed.
It would have to be, because some of them are born sick. Some of these dogs that are designer dogs, they can have all kinds of issues.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, for open enrollment.
Right. Do you have an open enrollment period? And some companies now offer.
No, that's what I'm saying. During our open enrollment period, pet insurance is on the table.
Really?
Yep.
Do you remember how much it was?
No, I just went right by.
He just clicked it off and said, "There's another thing I'm saving."
Look at that.
You don't have to do that anymore.
Don't need to check that box.
I can't imagine. Where would you even get training for that, to specialize in dog orthodontia?
I'm sure the vet.
Oh, you think the vet just does?
I bet you there's only a couple of veterinarian schools that do this.
I can't imagine.
I imagine also there's only a couple of dogs that you can do this on. Of these breeds. I mean, you have to have a pretty big mouth. I mean, some of these tiny little, like French poodle or French bulldog, I don't know if you can straighten their teeth out.
Yeah. Now I just have more questions than answers.
But I also imagine there are certain breeds that have a propensity for this. And that's why they did it.
That's why they started.
They started because there's certain breeds that have this problem, and so they go in and fix it.
That's what makes me wonder about all this stuff, is that should you have breeds that have inherent problems?
Well,
should you create breeds that have inherent problems?
That goes back to the whole raptor beak thing.
What's that?
Well, they don't let these raptors with a beak defect out in the wild so they don't propagate that defect.
But we propagate defects. So, like, aren't these little pugs that have the real wrinkly skin? Don't they just always have skin problems because they're bred that way? I mean, you're breeding them to look a certain way, but they automatically have certain health issues because of the way they're bred.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know specifically about a pug. I've always heard that Irish setters.
Are they bred?
They've been inbred so much, they have a mental defect.
Really?
They're just not very smart dogs. They're not. They're not very trainable.
Really? See, that doesn't make any sense to me that we would allow that.
A neighbor of mine had an Irish setter. You know what they named him? Blarney.
Blarney.
Irish for foolishness.
Really?
That dog was dumb.
Huh. Now, we love our dog. But we say that our dog is a very pretty dog, cute dog.
Yeah.
But she has a hard time, like, figuring stuff out.
I don't believe it.
My dog?
Yeah, no, I think your dog's got you trained.
Oh, absolutely.
That dog has got you trained.
Absolutely. But I've seen that dog not be able to figure its way around the ottoman before.
You think it was faking it so it get you to move it?
No, I think I'm just saying. I think that's the more
your dog
people,
Hazel saw this ottoman and said, "I am the quickest way to get to point A to point B is a straight line.
Well,
that ottoman is in my way, so I'm gonna wait here until Cecil moves it out of my way."
You might be right. Maybe she's smarter than I realize.
She knows how to get cake.
Yeah, yeah, she does twice. So our dog is a Labradoodle. So it's it's a blend of a Labrador Retriever and a Poodle. And there are a lot of doodle breeds out there now. But the more Labradoodle owners I've talked to, the more I've read about them, they are not the brightest dog in the world.
Is that right?
Yeah. And they're hard to train. This dog has not been very trainable.
Ah, okay.
I had a Labrador growing up. And
they're very trained.
That dog was a very smart dog. Very smart dog. That dog learned how to operate the latch on the gate and would let me out. Like he and I would go out beyond the gate. Yeah. He could open the latch. Very smart dog.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That dog was a great companion. I love our dog now, but
I promise you, if that dog, as smart as it was, had dental problems in this day and age,
right,
you'd probably have it fixed.
The Labrador?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now that maybe if it was like a prized hunting dog, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd see that. I'd have to have a lot of money though.
Well, yeah.
That's always been the hard thing with me and pets is knowing where you draw the line, especially with dogs. So once they get sick, when do you say, okay, enough's enough?
Yeah.
Because you can keep a dog alive if you want to for a long time. And it can get very expensive. You end up going to Raleigh to the vet school and having surgeries. Really.
Yeah.
And you've got to, and so where do you draw the line? How does a veterinarian help you draw the line? When's the time to put them down?
Right.
Yeah.
Orthodontia is not that line.
Orthodontia is not that last way on the other side of the line. All right. You got any final comments on dog orthodontia? You don't, because you don't have a dog.
No. I don't have any comments.
I will not be getting Hazel any braces of any sort.
Hazel seems to have a functioning jaw and good teeth.
She does, because she gets into a lot of trouble with that functional jaw and good teeth and eats things that she shouldn't eat. That's the other thing about dogs is a dog will eat anything.
Just about.
Hazel will eat anything, whether it's food or not.
Is it true that chocolate's not good for dogs? Has Hazel
is eating chocolate. The amount of chocolate so I talked to the veterinarian one time and she ate chocolate. And they have kind of a equation based on weight.
Okay.
And the amount of, and the grade of the chocolate is how they work into it.
Dark chocolate's a bad deal.
Yeah. So there was an equation they kind of worked through and she was fine. She didn't have any issues with it. So I've always heard that dogs aren't supposed to eat chocolate, but really in that particular case, they determined and she didn't have any effects from it. But she will get into anything to eat there.
Another thing I'd read that they're not supposed to get into is coffee.
I've heard that too. I don't think you'd want to get into that for the caffeine.
Yeah, because for people who spread it in their gardens, a dog could go in there and, I don't know.
Eat it. I've even heard that dogs will drink things like antifreeze and stuff like that people try to hurt dogs that way. But dogs they'll lap up I guess it's that salty taste to it or something.
It's a sweet taste.
Yeah. And so they don't even know not to eat that. Something that'll hurt them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I've seen our dog eat all kinds of stuff like that. All right. It don't sound right, but you've come to the end of the dog orthodontia, canine orthodontia episode.
Before we close, we want to thank everyone for listening. If this is your first time and enjoyed the conversation, would you consider hitting the subscribe button on the platform you listen with? Also, if you're a longtime listener, please give us a rating and leave us a review so others can easily find us and join the conversation.
You need to give Peter extra points for tonight because he did this with a persistent cough. That Don't Sound Right is a production of TSR Podcast in conjunction with Campbell City Studios. I am your co-host and sound engineer, Cecil. Peter is your other host and your web designer. Camille is your barista. Emily does your graphic design. Elle does your Instagram. Giorgio tests your merchandise. Brent is our international brand ambassador. And as always, listener number one is Scott. So until next week, keep talking.
And stay curious.